Hello everyone, and welcome to Tempest's litter reveal. As you can see, I still have Lyra and Fossil, in case we ever do a series with them, but we're focusing on Tempest and her family for now. I wrote down all of their stories last night. Now all that's left is to see what they look like and tell you their stories. So I realized that maybe it's a good thing we were nocturnal, because Moonflower is absolutely dazzling in the daytime. I would have been blinded. So first we have Zoe. For his stats, it seems that he's really weak in health, which actually makes it a miracle that he survived being sick that one time. His strength is average for a wolf, but in stamina and speed, he's a little bit more talented. Then we have Corvus, who is extremely weak, but makes up for it by having a lot of stamina, being able to outlast things. However, speed and health are completely normal, nothing to write home about there. Then we have Urur, also really good stamina, normal for speed, and just a little bit on the weaker side for strength and health. And lastly we have Nightrunner, also very good stamina. That seems to be a theme here. Normal health, strength a little bit less, and speed a little bit less. We also have little Moonlight, who didn't survive. He died of illness very young. He also had really good stamina. Poor baby, I miss him. But I guess all that remains now is to see what they look like grown up. And don't worry, I do a quick explanation about what they were like as pups in their story. So we're going to do that when we see them as adults rather than right now. So this is Zoe. Interesting. I mean, I can see the coat definitely from when he was a pup. I just wasn't expecting it. I'm assuming he possibly gets the brown tints from his father, the gray patches from his mother. Got a little bit of a torn ear there. Nothing super different. And he has the gray black-tailed deer plateau pack coat. The eyes are definitely yellow. That much is obvious. Well, I guess it's time to read his tale. Zoe was the little brother of the group, always a couple ounces behind his brothers. He would often be the last to eat, through no fault of his quote-unquote older siblings. Nightrunner, the leader of the pups, had a soft spot for him and always took care of his smaller statured brother. They were the best of friends. Now, a fully grown wolf, Zoe has filled out his frame and is starting to stand just a little bit taller. Standing next to Nightrunner, you could almost tell that he was the firstborn. He had a great time roaming through Hellroaring Mountain with his family, but constant skirmishes with Buffalo Plateau started to wear him out. Maybe if he started somewhere new and found a nice, small home tucked neatly between another small pack's hunting grounds, he could begin a life with just a little less stress. Following his gut, he finds himself on Amethyst Mountain, desperate to prove himself and find a mate as soon as possible so they can establish a small territory together. In brackets, I put, prefers not to bother other packs and will only take a tile if it's 20% or less. This goes for tiles stolen from him as well. He will have to wait for an opportunity to take them back. Won't kill another wolf even if it harms his child, but will certainly leave it with a scar to remember him by in a worst case scenario. I think that makes sense. He's gotten older, he's a little bit stronger, but he's still that little boy we knew. And next up we have Corvus. Corvus, oh. Okay. Definitely look like your mother, but with that little hint of brown from your father, especially noticeable on that tip of the tail. Very cute. And your eye color is also unmistakably yellow. Okay, and I'll read his story now. Corvus spent much of his time alone as a pup, and would often hide his favorite toys from his brothers. As much as he loved and trusted them, his hoarder's mentality was strong, and held him back growing up. Sharing is an essential part of running a successful wolf pack, but it's a skill he lacks. His future mate will have to come with him if she wishes to eat from a carcass, and as soon as possible, his pups will be eating meat chunks instead of regurgitation. His food will stay in his belly, thank you very much. Then I put in brackets, Corvus will live in Amethyst Mountain as well, and appreciates his brother Zoe's humble way of life not interfering with his own. I honestly think that would be a pretty interesting story to tell, having a selfish wolf as our leader. One thing I really love, I'm loving those forehead markings. The little like circle line thing, it's like a diamond. It's beautiful. There also feels like there's a hint of a scar maybe right there on his nose. I'm not sure though. Very pretty though. Also, don't mind my dog. She's upset that it's dinner time and the humans are eating human food. Okay, so next we have Urur. Urur. Okay. You look a lot like Teddy, don't you? You have very dark brown eyes. Interesting. That's the most unique so far for the eyes. Another little notched ear right there. Interesting. I mean, I was mostly assuming the pups look like this because of Tempest's coat, so he has the Bolt's coat. IWC Ambassador Wolves. Okay, and now we'll read your story, Urur. Urur was a troublemaker very early on, always popping his head out of the den during the many cougar attacks his family endured, much to the frustration of his mother. She made him promise not to get involved with any horrific cougar accidents when he left home, even though he wouldn't be far in Hellroarin Mountain. That promise would soon be broken, of course. Urur hates felines of all kinds, and will chase and bite any he finds all the way out of his territory, no matter the circumstance. He's in no hurry to become a father, but having a territory of his own does sound nice. What else is he going to chase those nasty cats out of? In a way, I feel like he might be the anti-Benji. Instead of falling in love with bears, he's fallen into hate with cougars. I think it would be interesting. I mean, I don't often get into tangles with cougars. Only if they attack our pups, really, but might be interesting to have a wolf that specializes in fighting them. And then lastly, we have Nightrunner. I'm very excited to see what he looks like. He looks the most unique as a pup. Nightrunner! Oh, he looks so much like his father. So bright and beautiful, but with that very dark muzzle. And he's radio collared. And it looks like he doesn't have eyebrows, it's funny. Oh wow, I think he's beautiful. Sorry, I freaked out. And he's got one of the original coats. His eyes, they seem silvery to me. Of course, the slightest hint of yellow, but very much gray silvery. Wow, he's gorgeous. Looks just like his father. And now I'll read his story. Nightrunner was the leader of his litter, laying down the law with both his brothers and his parents. He didn't take receiving orders of any kind very well, especially as he grew older. Yet now, all alone and far away from any of his family members in Lost River, he finds himself hoping to hear the stern bark of his mother on the wind, or the pleading whine of his brother Zoe in the grass. For the first time in his life he's scared, and he hates it. Determined to return to his normal self, the brave and fearless leader, he hurries through the forest in search of a companion, cheeks burning and tail lowered just a touch more than usual, not that anybody else would notice. In brackets, he won't be picky finding his mate, and will court the first group he runs into. Personally, I think I might be the most intrigued by his story. It's kind of cute having such, I don't know, like a strong wolf secretly being weak deep inside. Not to mention the fact that he's absolutely gorgeous and very different from any wolf we've played in a long time in terms of appearance. I think that might be a deciding factor, at least in my opinion. But of course, it's up to the votes as well. Wow, he's beautiful. I actually can't stop looking. The detail in his coat. And that is our litter for now. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Thankfully, this time around, we don't have any super traumatized pups. Things were difficult with rhododendron. There, and now, right here, we can see the whole litter. All 4 of the brothers. So just a reminder, before you make your votes, if you want to see what they look like, we have got Zoe right here. He will live in Amethyst Mountain. Alongside Corvus as well, who is also very pretty and quite different from what I would expect him to look like. I do love that marking on his forehead. And a Nightrunner, possibly my contender for who I would like to play in the future, who will be living in Lost River, and lastly, staying in Hellroarin Mountain is Urur. Our bratty Cougar Hayden kid. And that's gonna be it for now. Next time we play Wolfquest, I'll be counting down the votes and seeing who we play as next. That would be I think about 4 days, based on the way I schedule my posts. I think that's plenty of time for vote gathering. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time with whoever we play as. Bye for now.